So if he wouldn't 4-bet jacks here, what do you think that means as far as him continuing to your 4-bet?
Well, I mean, either he's going to think I'm bluffing or I've got, queens plus.
So sort of like you're turning your hand into a bluff if he only thinks that you have queens plus.
Kind of. I'm not really sure if you can. I don't really think it's turning my hand into a bluff because like he's either going to jam or he's...
You're ahead of his value range when you do 4-bet. That's certainly going to be the case. But when he continues to your 4-bet, that's sort of where
Well, yeah. I mean, if he thinks I'm bluffing, then obviously he can jam and...
what reason does he have to think that you'd be bluffing if you 4-bet here?
Yeah, I don't know. I just sort of look at this guy and he's like really aggressive, 3-betting like 11% of the time, and I imagine that he's probably gets 4-bet quite a lot, and like he looks a bit of like the splashy type, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him just jam it in. I don't know. That was kind of my thought process.
I don't think that that's bad, and I certainly think it's reasonable. I just think that okay, so that first thing that I was bringing up, that was like the first thing that came to my mind. The second thing that came to my mind was that like obviously if we 4-bet and we get it in, we're probably going to be doing okay. We have pretty strong hand. But against a player like this, we can play so much better than him post-flop, particularly in position, that I feel like I don't really need to sort of increase the variance and make it a pre-flop game. Obviously if I had aces, I would certainly 4-bet. Well, that's not always true. I would sometimes flat, but
yeah.
I just think that like it's more important to be playing flops and to give ourselves the opportunity to make more decisions post flop rather than just I'm repeating myself, rather than just 4-betting and calling it off.
Yeah, I think one thing like sorry, what did you say?
I was just saying this is gross when he min 5-bets.
Yeah, I don't know. I found that like actually once you get to like 2-4 and higher, people don't really seem to do that. I think they have aces less in general, although I actually remember him having aces here. So I don't really consider the min 5-bet too much. But
I do think that you're right there when you're saying like you shouldn't read into the min 5-bet, but I'm definitely categorizing this player very differently from someone like XXOOX and like Burroughs. I think that those two players are still quite different from each other, but I think that those guys are going to be much better players on average than this guy Fear Me 7, mostly because Fear Me 7 did not buy in full. But additionally, him playing 32-26 obviously factors in there.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would look at this min 5-bet and I'm like, I really do think it's aces. And I actually think that you could even find a fold. Though I would never fold it against Burroughs if he min 5-bet me.
Yeah. I mean, you saw like how quickly I jammed in there. I wasn't really even considering it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like it happens to like everybody, and it's kind of funny because whenever you make a 4-bet like that, and then some weaker player min 5-bets, it's like, I should fold, but you really can't. Like it's difficult to press the fold button. So I mean, I don't really blame you.
Yeah.
But I do still think like if we did flat, we get more value from especially his bluffs. Like because I don't really expect this player to be 5-bet bluffing us that much. And I don't really expect him to shove in 10s. So I know it sort of took a while to get to that, but it's sort of the gist of it.